from Bay County Public Library, and today we have an episode of What's Cookin'? And I am going to feature some different kinds of cuisines in our cookbooks that we have here at Bay County Library. For example, this first one is El Mexicano, Recipes, People, and Places. And this focuses on Mexican-American cooking and some regional Mexican cooking based on the different restaurants in the Los Angeles area. And it's got a really interesting breakdown of the various regional cuisines of Mexico, things like the Baja California, Chihuahua, the Estado de Mexico, Guerrero, Hidalgo, Jalisco, Michoacan, etc. Michoacan is one of our favorites that my husband and I enjoy. And there's all kinds of recipes in here. One of my favorites is shrimp ceviche. And there's a really nice recipe in here, and it's from a restaurant called Mariscos Chentes in Los Angeles. So this book is also great, not just for the recipes, but if you want to read about the different restaurateurs in the Los Angeles area. So if you ever decide to travel to Southern California, you might want to try some of these restaurants. But this shrimp ceviche recipe looks really good. It is spicy. It does have a lot of jalapenos in it, so you can probably cut down the jalapenos. I would have to ask my husband to do like half the amount. But it's a nice light one with a lot of limes, good shrimp, red onion, cucumbers, tomatoes, and those jalapenos. And you serve it with tortilla chips. Yummy. Now, one of our favorite dishes is from the Michoacan area, and it's called cochinita pibil, which is a slow-cooked pork. And the other night, I think last week sometime, my husband decided we had some pibil, and he said, well, let's serve it on tacos because we ran out of rice. Well, we didn't know that's a thing. So there's a cochinita pibil taco recipe right here from another book called the Sabores Yucatecos, a culinary tour of the Yucatan. And it does give you the recipes for, once you have the pibil, tells you how to make all the different sauces, the achiote paste. But yes, and you must have pickled red onions for this. And that's simple. It's just sliced red onions pickled in some red wine vinegar. It's really, really good. But it was just really fun to see this just a few days after we had it at home, and we thought we were doing something different. This is from the Guerrero area. This is pozole blanco, Guerrero style. This is hominy, and of course that's pozole. And blanco means white, because there are three kinds of pozole. There's the blanco, and verde, which is green, and then the rosado, which is red. So you've got the three types, and this one is for the white pozole. And this uses, like I said, hominy, garlic, onions, and you might have a little bit of pork or something in there, and oregano, all kinds of good stuff, chili powder, chili flakes. And again, this is something that we do like to cook. We normally do a different version of this blanco ourselves, and we recently did the red pozole at home. So this is definitely a recipe that I would show to my husband and say, hey, I think this is like what we do. And fish tacos. And one time when I went to San Diego, it was the first time that I had fish tacos. They're really, really good. And this is a great recipe, and it has a recipe for the salsa verde, which you need for the fish tacos. And it tells you that you can use any kind of firm white fish fillets to make it. It's fairly simple. It looks really delicious. So these are just a few of the recipes that you will find in El Mexicano, recipes, people, and places. Now, another kind of cuisine that we enjoy is Filipino food. This is called the Adobo Road Cookbook, a Filipino food journey from food blog to food truck and beyond. It has a great listing of the kinds of things that you should have in your pantry if you do want to cook Filipino food. And what's really fun is that you can find a lot of these ingredients right here in Panama City. There is a market on Harrison Avenue, Ocean Oriental Market, and they carry a lot of these things. And there's also Asian Market, several different places, basically down around Harrison Business 98, where you can find a lot of these ingredients, the different sauces, the different vegetables that you can use to make Filipino food. So things like bitter melon, they do use a lot of lemons and limes, and these little bitty teeny tiny things are, the Filipinos call it calamansi, calamondin, and that can be grown locally here too. Also things like coconut milk, you must have dried red pepper flakes, and they even use Edam cheese in some of their recipes. One of the dishes that we love to cook at home is chicken adobo. And there's a really good recipe in here. Now this one is not spicy. It has a lot of vinegar and garlic and peppercorns, a little bit of soy sauce and bay leaves. It's a fairly simple dish, but it's really, really delicious. And we make it with chicken thighs. It makes it a lot easier to cook and handle. And something that they also do that makes a great appetizer, or if you're doing any kind of a party, to have party food, grilled pork skewers. This one uses lemongrass. Again, you can find that at some of those Asian markets that I mentioned. And this book is called Little Vietnam, From Lemongrass Chicken to Rice Paper Rolls, 80 exciting Vietnamese dishes to prepare at home. And again, I love these books for these wonderful stocking pantry pages. They're really informative and let you know exactly the kinds of things that you need to have on hand. And we do have all of this stuff at home. But things like jasmine rice, the dried rice noodles, coconut cream, basically the canned coconut cream, things like sesame oil. They do use a lot of unsalted peanuts, and the various spices and sauces are listed here, and the vegetables again. So this is a really handy guide, and I love that they have photographs of all the different things, so you'll know what you're looking for when you go to those markets. And as I said, you can find just about all this stuff locally. I love that. One of my very favorite dishes that I love to eat, and the main ingredient is a little bit hard to find. It's green papaya. But green papaya salad. There's a Thai version, and this is the Vietnamese version. And that is just one of my favorite salads whenever I get a chance to get it. But basically, you're grating a green papaya. And once in a while, I'm lucky to find some already grated at one of the stores. But if you can ever get your hands on a green papaya, you can make this. And you can make it as spicy hot or as mild as you want. Pho is one of my favorite kinds of noodle soups. And I'm going to have to take this one home for my husband because we need to make that pho broth. Although you can buy mixes of pho broth at the various Asian markets, it's not quite the same as making it yourself and cooking the oxtails for hours and stuff to make that really rich broth, because that's the main thing about the pho. The noodles, the vegetables, The meats and other things, they're great, but that broth is key for making a good pho. And like I said, one of my very favorite things too. I have a lot of favorite foods. And then we have some Middle Eastern cookbooks. This first one is Secrets of Healthy Middle Eastern Cuisine. And what I like about it is something that I eat almost every single day is hummus. And there's a nice recipe. I mean, you can buy it in the markets. Every supermarket has it. But nothing beats having homemade hummus, which my husband makes for me. I got to give a shout out to my husband. He's the main cook in the house, and he makes some of the best tasting hummus I've ever had. And it's just basically chickpeas with tahina, which is a sesame paste, lemon juice. This one uses yogurt. He uses a little bit of olive oil and cumin. And so you notice, no salt, no salt. You don't need salt in the hummus. So it's good and, like I said, good and healthy. And something I actually learned how to make on my own is called falafel. And that is, again, made with chickpeas, but you make like little patties that you fry, and then you can fill it into a pita bread shell with some chopped onion and cucumber, and you make a yogurt sauce to go in it, and it's really, really delicious. And this is a recipe on how you can make it from scratch. And it's really not that hard. Basically, you start with soaking those dried chickpeas for a very long time, and then have a good food processor or blender to grind up the soaked chickpeas. As long as you got that, you can do this. Now this one is a recipe for vegetarian stuffed grape leaves. What I like about this book is actually it shows you how to wrap the grape leaves. So that's really handy if you've never done it before and you wonder how to do it. There it is. And you can buy the jarred grape leaves from the various markets in town, again. And it's basically, this one has a filling with onions, rice, tomatoes, parsley, and they use some potatoes in this one. You can make it with meat, like ground beef or ground lamb, but this book, being healthy, does vegetarian. And another recipe I like is tabbouleh salad. This is another favorite salad of mine. Uses bulgur wheat and a lot of parsley, good fresh parsley, onions, mint flakes, some chopped tomatoes, lemon juice, olive oil. It's really delicious and light and just a wonderful thing to have, especially in our warmer summer months. Another salad is a bulgur wheat salad called saf. And that's kind of similar to the tabbouleh, except it has more bulgur wheat and some chickpeas ground up as well. But with the same cucumber, onion, mint, lemon juice, and olive oil. So the dressings are very, very similar to tabbouleh. And what I usually do is kind of a mix between tabbouleh and saf, because I generally make my tabbouleh with more bulgur wheat than is called for in the traditional recipes. So it's sort of a saf that I make. But this book, if you want to find good vegetarian, Middle Eastern, and Mediterranean cooking, this is a wonderful book for you to find right here in Bay County Library. This is another Middle Eastern book. This one's called An Edible Mosaic. I just wanted to show you the picture in here. They do have the vegetarian stuffed grape leaves recipe in here, but they have beautiful photographs as well. So this book has wonderful photographs you can see, and you can see the jar that the grape leaves comes in and what they look like when you serve them. And this is something that we have made at home too. And it's just really delicious. And there's also, they have some basic recipes in here for different kinds of sauces and dips. The creamy garlic sauce is one that we like a lot. And that's actually also really good in your falafel sandwiches. And they have recipes in here for a garlic cream, garlic mayonnaise. You notice they use a lot of garlic. Okay. But this book is just a beautiful book to look at, just to see some of the pictures of the foods. Doesn't it make you hungry? So that was our little mini tour of International Cookbooks here at Bay County Library. And I hope that you will come and check some out with us.